Welcome back to 3Ps. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
Hey, girls.
Hi.
It's been a little bit because we recorded 2 in Milwaukee. So we haven't recorded for what, 2 weeks? A week and a half?
Yeah, like not even like looking at the calendar, we were like texting, oh, it's been so wild. We need like so long. We need to yap as if we don't talk every single day. So
I just felt like our group message was like popping off this week. And I was like, I can tell we didn't record this week because like here we are. Well, we're always active, but the chat was real active this week. So.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
It's good to be back.
it is good to be back.
It is good to be back.
What's been crazy since we chatted?
Honestly, I have not had a week that you would label as crazy per se.
Okay.
But I did. I haven't officially signed up, but I'm now saying it on the podcast, so I have to sign up. But I think I'm going to do a 5K in September. So I've been running a little bit this week, twice. And
How does it feel to be? Oh, she's like, I heard.
I'm like, my hip flexors are like, what the frick are you doing? I had this whole like running journey last summer, and I posted on TikTok of like my journey to running 1 mile, like seriously insane. But it was actually really fun, and I did run a mile at the end of the summer, and then I stopped running. So coming back this year, I was like, yeah, I lost all of that, but I've been doing pretty good. I'm doing the Nike training, like Run Club app. And the person that does the guided runs, his name is Coach Bennett. Have you done this, Coco, when you're running?
No.
Like training? It's literally Coach Bennett, like just talks you through your run. It is. Well,
like
first of all, I'm in love with him.
I was going to say, the way you said Bennett, you were like, hard eyes.
Major
Are there
crush.
Pictures of Coach Bennett?
Yes. Oh, he's all over.
I was picturing just like a voice.
And he's everybody's, like everybody that has this app. So, our friend Cassie suggested I do it, and she was like, I love Coach Bennett. And then I posted about it on my Finsta, and I was like, BRB, falling in love with Coach Bennett. And our friend Limey's husband responded, same.
Wait, Limey's husband? Josh said that?
Yeah.
That is funny.
And I was like,
I'm looking up Coach Bennett.
Yeah, so it's a universal thing, but it's really fun. So I am doing a 5K like training plan. It's like 8 weeks or whatever. So it's nothing crazy, but yeah, he talks you through it. He's like, you're an athlete. Like it's very encouraging. It's very fun. So he
has a huge mustache.
He does.
Ooh, I can get behind that.
I feel like Tyler would fall in love with him too.
Oh, no.
Oh. You haven't ran with him yet.
I did have the thought, though, that Tyler would be like hard eyes for Coach Bennett.
I think so.
I'm sure Bennett's a great guy, but like, no.
Not for you, Coco.
Well, after you go on a run with him, let me know.
Okay. I haven't ran in so long. I don't even know what it would look like. Like,
yeah, it was like a little, I think I'm doing a lot better than I expected, which is encouraging, but I am like very sore because those muscles so like my hips, I texted our friend Andrea, who's a runner, and I was like, can you let me know how to stretch? Cause I'm like not okay. I'm like waddling. It's like so embarrassing. I ran like 1 mile. I cannot, but we're going to get there. So anyway, that was something exciting that I decided to do because Cassie is running a half in September, and there's at that same one, there's a 5K like version.
Nice.
So I'm like, you know what? I've been meaning to do this and wanting to do this. And so I'm just gonna give it a shot. So I've, been running a little bit this week. And then my only other thing is I saw the movie How to Train Your Dragon and it was so good. I'm literally obsessed.
Is it the Disney one?
Yes. It was like the live action. It used to be like a cartoon or animated.
I didn't even know
now
they were
it's like
making
the
a
live action, like real. And
was like the cast good? And
I actually didn't know any of the cast.
Okay.
But
How to Train Your what?
Okay, I see what you're doing here. Fictional creature. Okay. She's trying to get us on a D's Nuts RN. And that's what you just watched.
How to Train Your Gargalon?
How to train D's?
Oh my gosh.
So true.
So true. So
I've actually heard really good things about the
Tyler's
animated
cracking
ones.
up in the background. He's behind the camera, like just smirking.
He's like, you're so dumb. You're so dumb.
And he can't even hear Coco either for reference because we have headphones. He's just like,
I have heard though that the animated is great. So I'm super pumped that the live action is too.
Yeah, I loved it. So I would recommend.
that was a random up. I knew you went to that and like didn't think that was going to be
Totally.
your update, but I'm glad we talked about it.
Yep.
I'm glad to hear it was so good.
I learned how to train dragons. So,
Oh,
all right. How were your weeks?
My mind's in the
"Move
gutter
on."
because this is Coco Maraca post Riley Green. It's like AD and BC.
she's a changed woman.
ARG. This is Coco ARG after Riley Green, and let me tell you. Oh God.
Was it everything and more? Like, I need to hear. You
How
only
close
sent us
were
like
you?
one
I
video.
was so
you did-
far. I was so
You
far.
were. You were
But-
so far. What was up with that?
I mean, my mom was not going to get in the pit. Like,
Or she would have. I think she would have for you. And my thing is that Riley knows who we are. Like, he's seen our faces.
yeah, I should have got up
considering
close
he's
and
watched-
personal.
Interact with both our TikTok and our Instagram or
You
his
have to
social media
remember-
manager, but like I don't
Yeah.
subscribe to that. Exactly.
That's
it's not
like
him.
that's exactly what I do for work. So as much as like I
know.
can't tell myself those things because like if I really thought he was interacting, then like I would be a different person than I am right now. So like,
I know.
I can't
I get
afford,
it.
I can't
I've been there
afford to
too.
have that thought process.
I know in the
can't.
back of my mind it's really not, but
Yeah.
it really is.
Yeah.
Are your
and,
mom
because
and
we were sitting for a while at like the same thing we did at the Miller Lite stage, and so then and my mom just had like bad shoes on and stuff, and so like walking out was tough. So it just like she wouldn't have gone in. She told me like as we were walking there, like, oh, if I'm kind of done after a bit, I'll just go sit back and sit by myself. And I was just kind of like, okay, well then I'm not going to go all the way into the crowd.
right. You don't
No.
want to leave her in the dust.
She stayed the entire time.
Of
course she did.
Of course.
It was so funny. He comes like I've told her, I was like, Mom, he's a smoke. Like you are gonna like him. I know it for a fact. Every woman with a pulse that's into men is into Riley Green. Like that's just science. And I told her that, and she kind of saw some photos here and there. And then he gets on stage, and she's like.
She's like, hubba.
Gobstopped. She is hubba. I'm in trouble. My dad is no longer in the picture. Like gone.
Well,
I was
she-
gonna say like, are her and Nikki equally as obsessed with him? But it sounds like your mom didn't really like know who he was.
Nikki was, because Nikki, we talked about on the
She's
podcast
seen
when we
him
first
on
talked
the
about
boat.
him, is that she met him long ago and was serenaded by him on a
Right.
boat like 4 summer fests ago or whatever. Or no, even longer. But yeah, so it was really fun. He's really fun live. I mean, country music in the summer is just so fun. And
Yep.
he did a bunch of covers that were fun. It was, I think I had a friend that was like really up close, and I saw in his story that he was super up close, and I was like, oh my gosh, Riley's my man. And he goes, same. So I think everybody there just was
Everybody's
Totally.
obsessed
locked
with Riley.
in. And the funniest part, my mom, we're watching, and I got to see him there, and I got to see him like a football field away. So I was like, you know what, this is the distance God allowed. Like I couldn't go, and I wouldn't be okay. I mean, earlier that day we went on a bike ride around Milwaukee, and we literally like biked past his tour bus.
Right.
Did you go
And we're
knocking?
going by, and I'm realizing it's that. I was like, okay, be cool. If he's like walking outside right now and sees me being like, he won't be like, oh, that girl's cool, and mysterious. And then as soon as we go by, my mom sees the RG, and she like turns around, she goes, I think that's your guy. And I'm like,
You're like, play it cool, play cool.
she goes, you should have faked hurting yourself so that they could put you in like his tent so they could give you first aid. And I'm like, okay, you're
She's
a
like,
medical
wing woman.
professional.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was
so
the big,
funny.
the
That's
big
awesome.
update.
I love it.
I'm so happy you got to see him in person. All your dreams come true.
All my dreams come true. I mean, definitely would I have preferred to be up there and him making eye contact with me? Sure. In another life.
Next time.
In another life. It's just not on the cards for us. It's okay.
And that's like what I'm okay with. And I know that.
Exactly. You're okay with the distance God put in front of you.
I really think it was like Holy Spirit ordained for sure. Okay. He knew I was there. He would have gotten too nervous, you know? Like,
yeah. He would have been like, oh my gosh, it's the girl from the TikTok.
It's the girl from the podcast. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So,
totally. Okay. Well,
Erin,
that's amazing.
Riley. You have the most exciting update, I feel like, out of all of us. Like, that's just iconic.
You don't think my movie was? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon was.
Okay, now you clowning How to Train Your Dragon.
You're like, okay, after I gave my updates, she's like, so yours sucked.
No, yours was good. I just feel like Coco lived her dreams this week.
It's so true.
Yeah, true.
It's so true.
I mean, what's to say that wasn't Josie's dream?
Well, oh my gosh. Yeah, and I forgot to say too, I indeed did not live my dream because I did not see Morgan Wallen this weekend.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
keep
you
me in
missed
your
out
thoughts. It's okay. I think it was, again, I think that was the distance God had me 4 hours from there.
It was
and that's
actually
okay.
crazy this week because I sent the girls a TikTok of somebody being like, tell me the national tea.
Oh, yeah.
And people were just slamming Morgan Wallen. Being like, he's so rude. He's so uptight. I've never heard this about him. I feel like
he
not
has
as
such
big
a horrible
of,
reputation. Like,
does he? I really feel like I have no
I don't
skin
think
in
you
the
throw
game
chairs off
with
of
Morgan.
like balconies being like
It's
a
true.
great, stellar, upright citizen.
no.
I know. I feel like he just did that for
No,
like,
but I just love
publicity,
his
though.
music. I
But-
swear I'm not like into men that throw chairs off of buildings.
And if you are, like, go
She
get
likes-
after it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
That's your
thanks.
thing. No, I
totally
just
my
was
thing.
like, wow, so many like atrocious comments about Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
None about Riley. So
It's okay. And I heard that actually a girl like on TikTok commented on my TikTok and was like, girl, the lines were so long. Like the girls' bathroom, you waited 45 minutes to get in. Like the
girl's
actual
girl,
venue.
making you feel better.
I know. She was like, the venue was so hot. People were sitting in other people's seats. Like people were passing out, leaving in ambulances. The second night, it was like pouring rain. So it was a rain delay. And then there's no Ubers. So you can't like Uber out of there.
It's
So
in
people
Madison.
were like,
I couldn't imagine what it would have been like. I feel like they probably just had everybody walk away because that's what we do on game days.
exactly.
Yeah.
But
If
like
it's
nobody's
raining?
prepared for like there's no Uber, like you have to walk away. Like the Ubers don't come to the stadium.
I see.
It's
So
basically
walk
like
off
in
the
a
stadium.
residential neighborhood, so it's not set up for that.
Like
type
that.
of-
Uber situations.
Thing,
Okay.
which people should have probably been prepared for. Anyway, I took all of that and I was like, it's fine, I'm not there. But I
Made
was
you feel better about
so
it.
sad.
One of my
Anyway.
roommates from or two of my roommates from college went to it, and they looked like they were in Pitt or something. But
Thriving.
but also like they're from there, they live there. You know,
yeah,
so
that's amazing. Like if you're
what
from
were you
Madison,
gonna do?
you had
Pay?
to,
Yeah.
you have to. Like what was I gonna do?
Yeah,
Drive
if you're-
myself there
no.
4.5 hours, go by myself, and then either walk back to a hotel by myself at midnight or drive back home in the middle of nowhere for 4 hours.
It wasn't like no shade to them. It wasn't the smartest location.
I know. I was kind of sad about it because
They
I'm like,
should
I
have like
would've-
it's really kind of like unless you are in Madison, it's really kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like, why wouldn't you do a Milwaukee or? It just didn't make sense to me. But also, Milwaukee Summerfest was going on, so maybe they were trying to be far enough away.
so
Yeah.
true.
Just wait until he comes to Minnesota.
He'll be back.
Or somewhere else like Nashville that we want to go. Or
I know he's not
something.
even going to Tennessee in this tour. He's doing like 20 stops. He's not even going like.
Are they all random?
Where's the next closest one?
Honestly, like there's really nowhere close. He's going to Seattle and he's going to Miami and then he's going to so he's going to like to Canada and I'm like I don't really want to see you in Canada. Like it doesn't feel the
It
same.
doesn't feel American. It doesn't
Yeah,
feel
yeah, yeah.
right.
It doesn't feel like country music if I'm in Toronto. Like
Right.
But anyway, so yeah, he's really not he's from Tennessee. He's not even going
Yeah.
to Tennessee. It's like a very weird tour. So I wonder if he's trying to, I don't know, he's had tour issues before where he's like canceled and like not shown up to ones. And like, I wonder if he's shortening it for that reason. I don't know. Cause he doesn't like to tour. He's not pulling a Taylor Swift. I know.
I don't
but
want
I
to do
love
the
his
slander,
music.
but I know.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's
that
true.
makes sense.
Anyway, totally on a tangent about Morgan Wallen. Erin, how was your week?
It was good. It was so uneventful though, like even more so than yours. So I'm trying to think. I know. I'm not trying to slam you. I just am like use
How to Train Your Dragon.
Running a 5K.
Well, you started out being you stated yourself. You were like, I didn't really do that much this week, so I'm just going with what you said.
Oh,
how many strays Josie's caught? 2.
Coming for her. No. Mine was like really. I'm like as much as I'm like slandering your week, I'm like mine was really uneventful. So
freaking funny.
I have like nothing really super new, but our friend Good did come to town, which was fun. And we had a little bonfire, and it was sad because it was like the 5 of us go on road trips, so it's like us 3 and then Tyler and then Good. So the 4, me, Tyler, Josie, and Good had a bonfire one night and dinner. He was here in town. He lives out west, so he was home, which was really fun. We did FaceTime you out of courtesy. We were like, we cannot gather and not see Coco at least over FaceTime. So but I don't know. I was like, not sure if this rubs salt in the wound or if it is better that we're like saying hello.
I don't know. It was a very sweet. I was so happy, but at the same time, I was like,
you're like, you guys suck.
Not well.
This is not right.
No, it wasn't
right.
It doesn't feel right.
It's not.
It only happens
fun,
once a year because that's God-Ordained.
So true.
Yeah.
But
so it was good to see him.
It was cute too. Erin set up like a wait, you said this, like the bonfire?
Yeah.
Like the setup was really cute, like with this.
Yeah, just like on our driveway, had some chairs out, a little solo stove. Really cute, it was a cute
s'mores.
night.
It was giving summer.
So that was
which
really
we're
fun.
fully in. It's July.
I know. I feel like I keep saying like, oh, like it feels like summer, and I'm like, it is, and
That's why it feels like
July.
summer.
So
it feels like summer because it is like summer.
But I feel like it's just like I don't know why I feel like I'm just starting to do so. That was my first s'more. That bonfire was my first s'more of the summer, and I was
you're
like,
a s'more whore, like for real.
Yeah, I am. And I'm like, and it was the end of June, so why is this? It felt like newly in December, but we're not. We're far. So that was fun, and then I feel like there was one other thing I was gonna say that I did. Oh, today I planted a really cute little garden, and I'm just like proud of it. It's just cute.
I love that.
I like found this like guy on Facebook, and he's just making these raised garden beds, and it's like just wide enough and long enough to be like a little herb garden. So I planted basil, rosemary, and mint because I feel like basil will be so good for pasta, and then rosemary, mint, we were like that could be so good for like cocktails or just whatever, like drinks this summer. So that's fun. Although I did find out afterwards that mint is like invasive and you're supposed to plant it in its own thing because it will just like overtake the whole thing.
Okay, mint.
That's okay.
Dang.
Yeah, people were like, once you plant it, it never dies. It just will, and it comes back every year. So you're just supposed to, I don't know, I guess you're supposed to have it in its own
Do you bring
thing.
it inside?
No, like I think you let it die and then it's one of the plants that like just regrows in the spring.
Like a perennial.
Like a perennial.
Whatever.
But like basil and rosemary are annuals. So you have to like replant. So whatever. It looks cute for now. We'll see if the mint really...
The mint just kills
I told
everything.
Ty like maybe you just have to be like out there chopping it as like it sounds like it grows really fast. So I'll probably have so much mint that I won't know what to do with it. But it looks really cute. So that was like fun today. I feel like I'm just enjoying my little... like gardening phase now that we've
I did that too.
Like
my mom and I made it.
Yes, I saw your patio.
I'm just doing flowers because I don't think I can.
No, but flowers are fun too. That's what got me started. Was like we did our landscape and we planted like peonies and then we planted. We're planting. We did hydrangeas so that we can cut those,
Pretty.
and then also stellas or like the like yellow. Those just came with our house had those already, but they're like yellow little flowers, and you don't cut those and put them in a vase, but all of the stuff that we planted this spring is like thriving, and so I feel like I have a green thumb now. I like don't like I feel like they're low maintenance plants, but
I love it.
In my mind I have a green thumb and I'm really good at it. So then I was like, well, now we need a little garden of like herbs. Anyways, so that was just like cute and fun.
I love that.
And then
my mom planted mine, so I was like, I have a green thumb by proxy. Like now all I have to do is water it. So
but it looked really cute though. We'll have to put that in the dump. A picture of your. We'll put both yours and mine.
Yep.
And then the last update I think is I haven't even like told you this, but I'll probably run the 5K with you. I think. Yeah. So I think I'm going to do it because our friend Emily's doing it with us. Yeah. And so I was like, well, if they're doing it, I feel like I need to do it. And then
what day is it?
September 20th. You want to do it with us?
It's in Stillwater.
That's Taylor's wedding.
Oh, shoot.
Will you be here?
I'll
In
be
Minnesota-
here, but I'm gonna be.
Like that
Yeah.
morning, you're gonna be
I'm
getting
gonna be
ready.
up in Stillwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
But it's
no
in
words.
Stillwater.
It's in Stillwater.
Run a little 5K.
The 5K is
and
in
go
Stillwater.
then go to Taylor's wedding.
Wait, we're
Wait,
gonna be.
what time though?
Wait, where
I'm
are we
like,
staying? Hold on. Where?
because are you getting ready with her?
Could.
Well, if it works out, that would be so iconic.
That is- I will literally be
Coco
there.
runs a 5K and then goes to the wedding. Obviously, prioritize Taylor.
Totally.
But you guys should just come cheer us on then,
Should I
because
come?
that's
Oh my
crazy
God.
that you're going to be in Stillwater and
Yeah.
that's where the race is. Where is the race at?
We end in downtown
Oh.
Stillwater. Or at least
I'm literally in Stillwater,
Yes.
like downtown.
Let's go.
You'll be. You'll at least have to. We have to say hi that day.
I'll have
Yeah.
to definitely come say hi.
Wait, that's actually such a funny coincidence.
That's
That's
hilarious.
so funny.
Okay, well, we will be linking
That's
up
so
in
funny.
Stillwater. Catch your peas in
hilarious.
Stillwater
Yes.
in September.
I'll have Elise come too. She's a Potter, so like we'll
Yeah,
come.
she should
Oh
be
my God.
there.
And so's
Potter.
Gabby. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah, no, I'm obsessed with that.
What time's the race at though?
I don't know. Like they're early though.
Yeah, like 7. So I feel like I
Yeah.
could do it.
Yeah, like it's
Does
early.
it have a time yet? Or no, I
No,
haven't
but
even looked
the
at the
5K
link.
in the last Stillwater one that I watched Cassie run the 10K. It started at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
The 10K
I
did.
was- that was
did
my
everything
only-
start at that time?
Yeah, because
Oh.
like I saw some 5K.
Would you ever do a 10K?
But I wouldn't do it this September.
Yeah.
I feel like you
I
could.
just was like, I was debating. Like, I
Oh, yeah,
feel
you
like
should do the
but I
10K if
don't
you
want to
want.
run alone.
But you would run. Oh, I think you actually would. I was gonna say
But
the
just have
track
Tyler
is-
bring a bike and then he bikes along the second part with
It-
you.
Oh. We could do that.
It really is a wonderful course to like watch people. Noah drove the whole course with Cassie. Like he like
Yeah. Okay.
because it's so small.
And also too,
Yeah.
you're not going to be running alone because the half marathoners are going to be going.
No, it's true. I just was debating because I'm like, I want to run with you and Emily, but I was like, I don't go out and run 3 miles often, but I
you could
know
do
I
it.
could do it. And I'm like a 6 miles for me is a little bit more like
You'd have
I've
to.
never run
trained-
6 miles straight. Like
I
I've
trained
never
for that when I did the 10K with Abby, and I'm glad I did. And honestly, Joe's, I feel like you could do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I get
But
like start with your first one,
do
and
5K
then-
first, and then
yeah,
do
I feel like
another
I'm just
one.
gonna stick
you
with
should
the
do
5K.
5K.
Well, and
you
if
should
Em
do
is
5K
doing
in
it-
September, and then like October, November,
10K.
continue the training and do the 10,
Yeah.
like
Right.
because then you won't have to start over again. And also running in the fall
Because
is
in my
so
mind,
much
I'm
better.
like 6 miles is far, but like I know I wouldn't be falling over.
If you can
dead.
do
like,
3, you
we'd
can do
all be
6.
fine.
No.
All 3 of us would be able to do
Oh,
it
for sure.
But
Yeah.
so I was just debating, but then Tyler was like he would maybe do a half, maybe. So we just need to talk
Figure
about
out
it.
what
But I
the
think I'm gonna do
links
that. So that'll be kind of
Love
fun
that.
this fall. Or like
wait,
to
send
do
me.
that.
Wait, are you doing it all through the Nike?
I'm doing
I
my
haven't
training
even
app
started
through
any
the-
sort of thing.
Can you send
I-
me your schedule? Because I want to do stuff other than just my
Yeah.
workout classes, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want
I'll
to
text you
have a
after
thing
this.
to
Train
run.
with us in case you
I
can
will.
do it.
I will. I for sure will. I want to
haven't-
run. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually just send it to both of us
I will.
because Josie's like texting me about this while I was like gone this weekend.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so then Ty and I didn't really talk about it much, but then just in my mind I was like, I'm free that weekend, so I'll probably do it. I have no reason to not.
Sarah's
So-
training for a half. I forgot about that. She's training for the Milwaukee half. So
Geez, good for her. I
Yeah.
And then
really
it'll
don't
be
think
fun
I
because
could do a half.
we'll just be there and then we can like watch Cassie finish her half
Yeah.
and then like we can go to downtown Stillwater and like
Have a
get
little day.
food
Yeah.
and
okay,
so
I will
fun.
get for
Okay.
sure. I will join you for something. That's
Okay.
so funny.
that's
No,
hilarious.
it's so funny. I can't believe that. I can't
I
believe
love
we
that.
just
That's the
put that
distance
together right now.
God-Ordained.
He's like,
That's
gonna be the name of this episode.
Together. It's like exact same
God-Ordained distance. That
Yes.
is the name of the
My
podcast.
gosh. Well, and speaking of distance,
No, literally.
should we get into our topic?
Oh, yes.
Moving?
Great
and
segue.
Josie's like, what?
You're like,
I literally was like, huh? I was like, did
That
you
was
guys
a
know
little bit-
something about distance?
No,
I
it was
don't
a
like
little bit of
Coco's
a
moving
stretch,
back.
but I was like, speaking of distance, that's what we're talking about today
Yeah.
is
That's perfect.
change and I think specifically moving
Yeah.
because y'all have both moved across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Not I. I'm
not really across the country for Coco.
a state away.
They both have moved out of state. I have not moved out of state, but I do live about 45 minutes to an hour like north
From
of where I
where
grew
we
up.
grew up.
So It's not the same, and I won't pretend it's the same, but I can chime in of like building
moving's
community
moving.
and
Moving's
moving and not knowing anybody where you move to. And
I think they have their different like pros and
I think so
cons.
too.
So sweet.
Well, let's just dive in.
Yeah.
You guys start because I
Okay.
feel like you've had the major moves.
Yeah. So obviously Coco's is Milwaukee and she's still there. I left my stint, but I moved to Dallas for a year, 2 years ago now at this point. I moved back, which is...
And Coco has been in Milwaukee for 4 years.
Been in
summer.
Milwaukee for 4 years, but I was thinking about it like since moving to college, I've been back and forth from Wisconsin since 2016.
Yeah.
So-
but you did
Yeah.
college out of state, whereas like Joe's and I both stayed in
Yep.
state for
U of
college.
M.
Yep.
I guess I can kind of talk about why I wanted to move and like expectations, like, and kind of what I learned. I grew up in Minnesota, like we just said, went to college in Minnesota. My whole family is here. All of my friends are here. And there was always something in the back of my mind of what would it be like to move, and just kind of this idea. I feel like it's romanticized almost in a little bit of like moving to a new place and a new start and all of this.
And new people.
Yeah.
And to be fair, a lot of our friends have moved.
Yeah.
Like Coco obviously is one of them, but a lot of our college friends, like
Yes.
right after college, moved out of state.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like one after the other. I
Yeah.
think like at least four or
Exactly.
5 of them moved. So
Yeah, it was totally. So I just was, but it was never something I actively pursued really. I think I'd always thought about it and wanted to try it, but I did like randomly apply for a job that I didn't think I would get. And then I did get the job, and it was in Dallas, and it was a really incredible opportunity. So I was like, I have to go. Like, and I'll never forget like it was a really fast turnaround of like choosing to like pick up my whole entire life and move to Dallas. And I think I moved in a matter
I think
of 2
you
months.
got the offer in like April.
Yeah.
Or March.
And
or
that's
April.
the thing,
was
though.
in
It's
the
like
March.
I feel like whenever people move at this age, it's like, or at least our group, you have to have a reason to move. You know,
Yeah.
like, or I mean, some people can just get up and go, and it's no skin off their
Right.
back. But for me, when I moved, it was like a very calculated risk. It was not.
Yep.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to go off to New York and make it. If I can make it there, I
Totally.
can make it anywhere. It's like, no, I'm going to go to Milwaukee because I have
Yeah.
a job lined up. You know,
Yeah.
like that's
That was
it.
like true for both of you, because I
Yeah.
do feel like what you're saying, that there are definitely case scenarios where people are just like, I just want to experience something different,
Yep.
or like they're just more adventurous, and so they're like, I gotta get out of
Yep.
state or whatever. But for your guys' own experiences, it's been
Yes.
And yeah, you're get up and go. You moved quick.
it was really fast. So it was like the scariest thing to like choose to do. I remember I said I drove to my parents and I just needed their like final approval. Like, I know I'm an adult and can make my own decisions, but like it was a big risk, like financially for me, like all this stuff. So I just needed their like, okay, in case like everything crumbled and I like needed to come back, you know? And I just felt like more comfortable with that. So I drove
It's
to their
not like
house.
you needed their permission, but it's like if they're saying it's okay, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think I knew I was going to do it, but I just wanted to talk to them. So I went to their house and we kind of talked through it, and I was like, I'm going to do it. And I like left their house, sat in my car, sent the email that I was going to accept it, like sobbing literally the whole way home, sobbing at home, like sobbing when I would tell people. I was so scared, but also really excited about it. So it was just like a really weird, I just remember that time being like so many weird feelings, because I was not something I was planning on, and I'm a big planner. So I think like expectations, I just was, wow, I'm not in Minnesota this summer. Like by March, your summer plans, you have half of them set, you know? I was going to be in Texas. So it was just crazy. And then I think, like community building, I was a little nervous for, but I think because I'm so extroverted, I didn't think I'd have an issue. I was like, oh, it'll be totally fine. And I think it's harder than I expected, or that people make it out to be.
especially if you don't know anybody there. Like you didn't even have
Yes.
like a connection.
Yes,
There was
I-
like
one-
a couple people tried to be like, I have a mutual friend
Yes,
there.
I had like one mutual friend, and that was amazing. But true, like not a lot of connections in Dallas, Texas. The closest like close friend I had was Austin, which also was good, but I mean hours away. But so that was hard. And then I think one of the other things is just like doing things by myself. I always have, like in Minnesota, I always had like a friend to go do something with, whether it's weird things come up when you move, and it's like, so a concert, for example, and it's like there's nobody like, who do I invite to go to this concert? I don't have friends. Church by myself. Like I'd always had really great community throughout college. We would all sit together, work. Like I worked at a church, so I had community there. So you just have to find a church, and you just like go to church by yourself. And it was like, I did end up building friends and had like some people to sit with and all of that. So that was good, but it was just a really weird thing. And then I think it just was a lot harder for me than I thought. I did not think it would be as hard as it was moving. And I think part of that is that I'm meant to be in Minnesota. Like I truly feel like this is where God has placed me right now. Like, and I think he placed me in Dallas for that year too. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot about dependence on him, and I grew a lot in my relationship with God. And I think that's what he like had me in. But I think when I was making a decision of like, do I go? Cause like, to be completely honest, and our friend Maria, we talked about this cause she lived somewhere else for a year. Like you almost feel like a failure when you move and you only last a year. And then you're like, moving back, like you feel like, oh, I failed, like something went wrong.
Everyone's gonna think,
wrong.
Oh, she was only there for a year. Like, yeah,
exactly. You make this, I mean, it's a huge deal. Like you're moving, you tell everybody, you leave your job. And so I struggled a lot with the decision of like, just a lot of feelings of coming back, but I just knew, and I would pray like, God, close doors that are meant to be closed, and like open doors that are meant to be open. And he opened one in Minnesota, and it was like, just very clear, and I had a lot of peace. And so coming back, I'm like, there's no doubt in my mind, like I was supposed to move back, but like the whole experience taught me so much about that. And I think, it was a very unique experience.
Funny thing about God is when you pray for clarity, he gonna give it to you.
Yes.
Like, yes, he does not like, and that doesn't mean like there's going to be a like golden ray of light going exactly onto what door to pick. It's more like I'm going to shut some options that you thought. And you have to be asking for it, seeking it out, and discerning it.
Yeah.
In order for that clarity to feel. But like that's been a cool thing that Maria, same friend, has taught me about like praying intentionally and asking for that, because if you're listening, he will answer.
It's so true. Yeah. And I think I look back too, and just the whole year, I think when you're in it, it's a lot harder. Like, I think when I look back, you can just see things clearer too. And I'm like, there were so many doors he closed while I was there that made no sense to me. Like, you've brought me to this new state. Like, there was a small group in a church situation that didn't work out for me. There was like other things community wise I was like, I'm so confused. Like I moved to a new city. I'm trying to build community, and like doors are closing, and it was weird. And I look back and I'm like, it's cause I just like wasn't meant to be there for longer than a year, you know? Yeah. And, like the people that he did put in my life, like there's a couple that I like, well, I mean, you just like never forget people that like, when you're like lonely, like
like
spend
took
time
you
with
in.
you.
Totally.
So, but I look back and I'm like, oh, like, no, that makes so much more sense that he was like, no, you're just here for a little bit, and I have like something to teach you while you're here, which is like beautiful in itself too. But it was, I mean, I was very sad. I look back and I'm like, oh, it was so sad. It was like really sad to like think about that year and be like, oh my gosh, I like feel sad for myself. Like I get choked up thinking about it, because I'm like, there were just days where I just was like, I've never like felt loneliness like that before. And so I think I just have like a new empathy, like never having had to go through something like that, for people that are new to a city or like don't have a community around them that I'm so blessed to have. I just have this newfound empathy to coming back, which has been like a beautiful thing too. But yeah, it was crazy. So that's my spiel, but you've had a good experience moving. So, and I would do it over again. Like I would move again.
I think you're speaking to a lot of people that I know, people in my life that have never left the state of Minnesota, and they have that desire to just go somewhere for something else, even if it's for a year. And like you said, it's romanticized. Like every Hallmark movie, like so many things in TV shows and movies is about moving away and making a name for yourself. And I just don't necessarily think that those two have to be those two don't have to be mutually exclusive, or like you don't have to go away from your everything in order to do that. Granted, if it's really something that needs to be in a specific city, like for me, entertainment is really centered around New York and LA.
Yeah.
I get that. But I think a lot of times people look at going back home as like a failure, and I don't think that way at all. And I think outside of when I was graduating Madison, that's when I was talking about in the anxiety episode, that's where my anxiety really started, is because that change and that new thing. And for the longest time, I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Madison. And then after that, I'm going to move to Chicago because so many people do that. I'm going to go work at an agency, live in Chicago for however long. And then XYZ, and we graduated in COVID and none of that happened. And I remember going home, no job, being like, I'm the biggest failure ever to man known. Like,
totally.
I'm the worst. And then it ended up opening a door for the current job that I have now. And I'm in a new city that I call home. And so I don't know. I just think like for the people that think like I got to move because I need to get out of my shell. If it's really something that's in your heart that you want to do, take Josie's story, for example. Like she went, she tried, she came back, and I don't look at her as like, oh, she failed Dallas. No, Dallas failed her.
No, it sounds silly when you say it out loud. Like it's like nobody actually thinks you're silly for moving home, but it like feels like that.
Yeah. And I think when you're in the middle of it too, like I look back, I'm like, wow, that was the best decision. But like deciding, I'm like, this is the biggest like. But no, I think that's. I mean,
I think that's a common theme I've heard too. Like obviously, I have not moved out of state, but our other friends who have said the same thing. Like. A lot of them. I think we have a few friends who have like found community or felt really at peace or at home when they've moved somewhere.
Yep.
But majority of people that have moved that I've talked to are like, it's so hard to make connections. Or I'm thinking of our friends who moved to like Austin. They were there for like 2 years and they were like, we still do not feel, and they were there as like a couple. Cause I think there's something to be said too about like, maybe if you're moving with like a significant other, or if you and a best friend go or something, at least you have each other. But even then, like this specific friend I'm thinking of, like they talked a lot about, they're like, no, we're literally like a couple, we're together, we live together, and we still don't feel like we belong here or like in Austin. Like they were like, we just like haven't made community, and like it's been really hard. And I feel like that's just something that's been echoed across like many people that I know that have moved, of like it is so romanticized, or it feels like this thing that's like, go out and find
the
yourself.
first person you're gonna meet at the coffee shop is gonna be your new best friend, and no.
Yeah, but it's just
everybody's
like
there to get their latte and get out. No, but like, and also too, we've talked about it. Like this is the era where people don't want to talk and stop and talk to people anymore. And so even though I've had a great experience here in Milwaukee, it's also taken me 4 years to get to where I'm at now.
Yeah.
And I had 2 friends that were here, plus the people that I worked with that were my friends. Like I did have a little bit more than you coming in. I also am only a state away. So that distance of just like, okay, it's a 5-hour drive if need be. I can go home if I need to.
Me too.
Josie was always like a flight. Like, and
it was always a flight. If I need to go see my grandparents, it's an hour away. You know what I mean? Like I had, again, it was a calculated risk, and it just worked out better. But I would say even in those first 2 years of me living here, it wasn't until I found community with my church that I'm like, oh, Milwaukee's home. And
even then, like it's taken you a lot of intentionality to build those connections.
Yeah.
Like you didn't just join a group and feel right at home. Like I feel like it took a little bit to be like, okay, I really got to know these people, and I've spent intentional time trying to like seek out those relationships one-on-one. And
that's, I would say that's like probably the number one thing. I mean, like if I could tell everybody, like find some sort of community group, if it's a church group, even better. I don't know now, because of like what you've gone through, Joe's, like I think about my new friend Maya from the dog park. Like she immediately said she was new here. She's 21 from East Coast, probably does not have a connection to Milwaukee, because who does?
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like,
totally.
No,
and
true.
you just have the sympathy of like, oh, even I remember the feeling of going to my first small group or grow group and being like,
oh my gosh.
Oh, are they gonna like, am I gonna be weird? How do I tell people who I am? It's like, and I remember like Sarah is one of my very close friends now, and we kind of knew each other. We had like the first time her and I hung out without Abby, we were like, so this is weird. Like it's just
yeah.
Nobody goes and finds completely new friends with no connections without being intentional and without the awkwardness.
Totally.
Like,
well, and I was reading a book one time that was talking about, I'm not going to remember what it was called, but it was talking about how you have to spend like 2,000 hours with somebody to feel really close to them. Like, of course, there are people who you'll meet and you just instantly click. But I feel like as we get older, that's just so rare. Like, it's just, you just don't have that happen all the time.
Yep.
And so the book was talking about how you have to have like 2,000 hours spent with somebody before you really form like a close bond. And I'm like, that's a lot of hours. Like that's a lot of time. So like if you're someone who has moved and maybe you're feeling like you don't have a best friend there yet or whatever, I'm like, just remind yourself that it takes time, because I feel like also those instant connections are romanticized when you think of moving. Like, I'm going to move somewhere and I'm going to meet like an instant best friend.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case either. And it takes that time and work and effort to do that and to build those relationships.
it literally is like the new kid at school feeling, because like, but even so, but school's not there. Like I was talking with, I don't even know who recently. We're talking about how hard it is just to make friends in new cities at like the ripe age of 26, 27. And
Totally.
You don't have similarities with people the way that you did in school. Oh, we're both chem majors. Oh, we're both in this school club. We both are a student at this point in life. And that's like, you can have some work friends, but even so, like work is so, I've learned the lesson of like work needs to stay at work. And it's just hard because like, if you love your job, that's great. But also like it's no shade to anybody I've worked with, but you need to turn it off. Otherwise, if you're going to go be best friends with your work best friend, what's the number one thing you guys are going to talk about as soon as you're off the clock with wine? Work, and the person at work that needs to get fired. You know what I mean? Like, and it's really hard because you think like, oh, I'm going to move to a new city. I'm going to be besties with work. Well, like Josie, you and I both moved and we had 3 people at our jobs. What if you don't like them?
Yeah,
Totally.
Like,
right.
Totally.
Especially if you're working with them day in, day out and they make you annoyed at work because work is annoying and not fun.
Right. Like any job. Totally.
Yeah,
Totally. And I think that separation too, like you need to, can't just be, well, that's it. You know, like I know 2 people, like it's just doesn't work like that.
It's super hard. Yeah. I would say like the thing that's made Milwaukee feel like home, I said that, is my church community. And whether it's a gym, I know a lot of people that find their community in the gym. Like there's a workout people or run clubs. Every city pretty much has, but I just think like moving is like a unique experience. And, Aaron, I still think yours is very valid. Like talk about being still close, but I feel like you guys moving where you did was intentional.
Yeah. Well, okay, before I get into that, I just had one other thought too. I think your location and your life aspirations matter too, or like your goals, because I think for you, I just thinking about traveling, and one thing that always stuck with me, because Ty and I, before we decided to stay in Minnesota but like move a little bit further away from home, we were teetering of like, do we leave the state? Ty really wanted to go out of state. I was a little bit less, but would have gone, but just like all of our families here. But anyways, and then wanting to travel, like that was half the reason Ty wanted to move, was because if we moved to Colorado or out west somewhere, like we love hiking, we love camping, all of that stuff would have been able to happen out there, you know, and we would have just like gotten to do that all the time. But then when you moved, I think we were kind of, I was talking about my licensure for counseling, like I, at the time too, was just too overwhelmed to even thinking about taking a test to get my licensure in other states. I just was like, I just need to graduate and get a job. Like maybe a couple of years down the road, we can worry about getting a licensure and being able to go somewhere else. But I think that's where we were in when you moved. And so then, though I learned from you, you were like, I'm spending all of my money on trips home. Yeah. And instead of like being able to go travel other places, and you are somebody who, part of your life goals and things you like to do is traveling. And so you do too, Coco. But I do think there's something about locationally, like you can drive home and like fly out with your family, or I don't know, like there's something about being able to drive home, because I think you could still come home. Whereas like you were like, I can't just drive 18 hours home by myself.
Part of your travel was traveling home.
Yeah.
Because it's like a drive or a train ride, like all the options that I have, it's definitely a beautiful blessing that like that's there
Yes.
for me for sure.
Yeah, because you were like, it's a plane ticket home for Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year, like, or you would stay home for some of those, and then weddings, and it just was so much traveling home. And I think that you actually really de-influenced me from wanting to move out of state because Ty and I also love to travel.
Yeah,
and I was like, I just don't see that happening because I know for a fact that I will spend all my money coming home because I'm really close to my family.
Exactly.
So I just was like, I will just only want to come home and not be out traveling. Granted, there is cool things to do in the state you go to, and there's something to be said about like seeing what's around there. But like, honestly, like sorry if any of our listeners are in Dallas, but I'm like, there's really not a lot to like, you're not going on hikes and camping.
Yes. That would interest.
It's a cool city, and like Austin is
Dallas
really cool.
isn't great. I'll say it. I hate Dallas. Yeah.
I didn't love my time in Dallas either when I was there.
Yeah.
My one experience was I was at a show with Charlie. I was walking down the street mid daylight, and someone had a hospital gown on, just pissing in an alley. So, like Dallas to me is piss water. I don't care. Like,
when my mom and I went to move Josie home, my mom was like, "Oh." She's like, I had higher hopes for Dallas. And I was like, totally. Like, it's good to go see once. But other than that, like, I won't ever go back probably.
But all you Dallas, if you are from Dallas and you're listening, give us a better like hope for Dallas.
Literally.
Yeah, maybe we were missing it. But
I know.
And you found the good spots and the good stuff. You had some good things to say about Dallas.
I love the food down there. I have like, there were so many things there that I'm like, I miss aspects of. But I think that goes to show too of like, again, my interests and things just didn't align with that as much as like I love country. I love like
I could see you more in Nashville or even Austin.
Austin felt like the Minneapolis of Texas. Like it was like on a river, you know.
So
and
like
all those interests,
smaller.
All those interests can be fine and well, but I think like your number one priority is friends and family. And so
that's those
can also be true. Like I can really love country and all the stuff that's going on, but like this is my number one.
Totally.
No, and that's, I say all the time, I'm like, if I could transplant my friends, I could live anywhere. Like if I could transplant my community, shit me off.
Fine.
That's fine. But that was the biggest thing.
Well, also too, it's actually interesting. My mom made this comment to me before I moved here. I was looking at like, okay, can I live in Chicago and commute to Milwaukee part-time or something for work? And I was like, cause Chicago just was like the city that for some reason in my head, I was like, I gotta go there in Milwaukee. What is Milwaukee anyway? And I just felt like Milwaukee was such a step below of like what I was meant to be and all of this like things that I had in mind. And I was talking to my mom about it, and she just was like, well, because I was like, oh, my friends are there from Madison, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, Colleen, you never want to move somewhere for the people unless it's like your dad and I and like your family. But she's like, even then, people can move.
Yeah.
And you really need to like love the city for itself, or you need to have really concrete reasons in order to move. And she was like, because I've talked about like wanting to move home and all of that type of stuff. And I was like, I'd love to be near my brother and his wife and their kid and all that. And she's like, yeah, but like they could move. She's like,
right.
She's like, you were born in Chicago. We moved to Minnesota and we lived there for like, we didn't think we'd be living there for however long we did. So that just was like a really sweet piece of advice that I wasn't expecting from her. Cause I'm sure she would love if I could live at home forever.
Totally.
But it was like I think that's a good thing too of like just make sure that the reasons are right. Don't just move to New York because you think it sounds cool and people be like, oh, where's Coco these days? Oh, New York, cool. Like you gotta move places that like are gonna fill you up.
Yeah.
And it might take something where you live there for a year, you think it's gonna fill you up and it doesn't. There's no shame in that. But just making sure when you're going somewhere it's the right reasons.
Yeah, totally.
No, I think that's so true. And I think my situation is just like, I don't even know, like just different in the fact that like I stayed in state. So it's like I still have access to all the people and things that I like and want to be around. But we chose to move like an hour from home, which was a hard decision for me. Like Ty, we're close with his family too, but he just doesn't feel this like, I don't know, emotional tie to like being near them. Like I think eventually if we had moved, we would have ended up back here anyways. But like he was ready to go and I was more like, no, I am so close to my family. Like I want to be near them. I don't want to go out of state. So we intentionally chose to move away from home though. Like we both grew up, we weren't high school sweethearts, but like both went to the same high school, grew up in the same city. His parents' house was like 1 mile from my parents. Like we lived in Lakeville for like 2 years after we got married, and we grew up in Apple Valley. So like that's
neighboring
kind of where we were
towns.
from. Yeah, neighboring cities are really close to each other, but we lived in Lakeville for like 2 years, and we would be at Target and like running into everybody and their brother that you know. And it's not a small town. Like it's not a small city. I think there's like 60 or 70,000 people there. So it's a really big city, but just like small world, you run into people you know.
Totally.
And especially post college, it felt like everybody just either everybody like stayed where they went to college, or they started moving back home, and like
it was
people
COVID
started
too. Like it was
COVID.
that
Yeah.
really did make a difference.
That's true. And I do even feel like even post COVID, like in the last couple of years, I've just seen people, and no shame to anybody from high school, but people just like buying houses back where we grew up. And that's just not for me and Ty. Like we were very much like, no, like we need to get out of here. And it's not that we didn't want to run into people, but just like it felt like the same old, so we needed a change.
Yep.
So we moved like an hour away from home, and like love the area we moved to, but it's kind of the same thing. Like we don't know anybody up here, like, which part of that I love. Like I go to Target and I'm like, there's nobody here that I'm gonna run into that I like know. And now that I have coworkers and stuff, maybe it's, you know, that we've been here for like a year and a half now. So I feel like we're starting to be, to know people more. But when we first moved up here, I love that feeling. But it was just like, oh, it's not, there's no convenient person to like just watch our dogs. Like Josie does live, you do live like 20 minutes from us now, 25, but like originally we lived like 10 minutes from my parents. And so just like dog sitter, or if it's family holidays, we're driving 45 minutes to an hour depending on traffic. And
or just like if you want a night where you're just chilling with your mom, like you guys,
I have to drive.
You and your mom are so close. So it's just like having those really easy access.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's just different, but it has been the same reoccurring theme of like being so intentional, because definitely being in our neighborhood, like we've hosted garage get-togethers, and we've like met people and been like, what is your phone number? And had to be like, hey, want to go to dinner? And it's like a lot of social effort just to meet like a few people, but we're slowly but surely we have like a little crew of people we've started to hang out with. And I feel like even that's like snowballed, and it's like building of somebody else knows somebody else. And so they invite whoever. We have like people's numbers now to be like, hey, can you just, that was like a hard thing. Like we'd be gone for a cabin weekend and we'd be like, can you just like, we didn't have anyone to say, could you just take our trash out? Or
like a
hey, can you get our
thing?
mail? It was just like, you feel kind of lonely, or just like, I would be disappointed. Like for the first year, I was like, we don't know anybody. Like we haven't made any friends.
Totally.
And finding a new church has been hard, because it's like, we're not going to drive 45 minutes or an hour home to the church we are going to. So we still haven't really found, we have a church we like, but
I was going to say that, like, that's been you shouldn't be going to church 45 minutes from where you live. You know,
you want to find,
so it's like,
but like we attended one church for like a year and then decided like, oh, I don't think this is it. And now we do have one that we really like,
which is great.
And we did try a small group there, and that just like didn't really pan out. Like just finding a small group is hard, and there's never going to be perfection or perfect.
Totally.
But it just like, they weren't in the same season of life we're in. And so that's okay. Like that's just what it is. So we're still searching, and we might even like start our own. Like, so it's just really being intentional of like I'm not just going to sit back and be like, well, I guess I just won't have community then. Like I'm like, oh no, I'm like literally considering maybe building my own one then, because you need community, and you've got to be intentional, or you've got to be involved in person. I'm not involved in like, I'm not Coco, you're so good at like, you're on this kickball team, and you're in all these little like hobby club things, and I'm like, I'm just not like, so even like a book club would be good or whatever. So anyways, I think it's like different, but it is nice. So I can't speak to like, I don't know, some of the stuff you guys went through, I can't speak to, but I was definitely influenced by both of your moves a little bit. Like, I'm like, okay, Coco loves being, like you like, I guess you don't love being so far. Like we wish that we were all a little bit closer, but it's like, you can just drive home and you're really liking your city. You're liking not living so close to home. And then on the flip side, I think I was a little de-influenced through when you said the travel thing. And I was like,
it's hard not to be de-influenced by my experience. But if there's like, again, that is not a one size fits all. There's so many aspects to it that were very unique, but it's like, some people, that's what they need, or they're not close with their family. And it's like moving, and that's is perfect the best for them. Decision
so
for them.
This isn't to say it's not.
I think the number one thing is just like pray about it beforehand. I mean, moving to Milwaukee, though it was a calculated risk, it didn't come without anxiety. Like I remember like the month leading up, I cried at your wedding because I was like, this is the last time.
I cried. Well, when Coco moved, I cried. Like I was so sad about it, because Coco, and I've been friends since first grade. Like we've always been, other than college, we've always been in the same state. So like when you were home from COVID forward, I was like, this is perfect. Like I love living in the same state again as Coco. But then I think when Josie left, I like had him in TB because I was like, well, no, I was like, literally both of them are gone. Like I was like,
peas have scattered.
Yes, I was like, when Coco went, I was so sad. And then when you went, I was like, what am I gonna do? And like, thank gosh we have good friends from college, but it was just a weird season where like everybody was moving away too. So and all of Tyler's friends are moving too. So I think there's something to be said about like being the person who stays and like watching everybody go too. Like that is really hard.
100%.
That's awful. And like we've all had that. We all have friends that move away, but that was pretty awful. Like honestly, I'm like everybody. It just felt like at least 3 or 4 of our girlfriends moved away, and then you guys went, and then Tyler, like all of a sudden he had like
our friends left when I left into like and like now me and Ava are back, so we're coming back, but
it was rough for a while. It was just like it just is weird.
It was just weird. But and one other thing I was gonna say too is sometimes like with the whole moving thing, like you said, Coco, like pray about it, because it's like again maybe like the Lord has you in a place temporarily and it isn't your forever place, but he has you there for X amount of years for a specific reason too, whether that's school, like if you're going to college or stuff like that. And it's like, life is going to be hard wherever you are. It's just different challenges. And ultimately, like if you are walking in step with Jesus, like he's going to walk you through everything. And you can't ever make a wrong decision. Like as long as you're being prayerful and, discerning with your relationship with him. So
we even said when you were gone, we would talk a lot about how, cause I think when you were questioning coming back or staying, you were like, I just feel so dumb for like being back a year later. And I remember we were just talking about like God could even be teaching you the smallest of lessons. Like it doesn't have to be this like big profound lesson. It literally could be like, because for years you were like, do I move? Do I not? Do I move? Do I not? And I'm like, it literally could have been just to give you clarity that like Minnesota is home. Like it doesn't even like have to be this profound, like, oh, well, like I know you said you did learn a lot more than just that. Like you grew really close to the Lord. Like your faith was really strong that whole year you were there. Not that it's not now, but it was like, you just had to be really reliant on him. And it was like just you and God. Like
we were chilling.
But like we would talk about that a lot. Like, cause you would just be like, I don't know. You're just having a really hard time with it. And I was like, at the end of the day, like God could literally be trying to teach you something so small here. Or like, I feel like you came home and you had a greater appreciation for your parents. And like you see your parents a lot more now and stuff. So it just like could have been that too, of just growing you closer to your parents. Like so many different things. So it doesn't need to be this big thing that you're going to learn. Like it might just be something as small as just some clarity. So
it's so true. Okay, moving on to our pop culture. We're talking about the Bezos wedding, which was in, I think, Venice, I think.
Yeah.
Lots of celebs, lots of discourse around it.
People are like unhappy about this is all I've been seeing.
I know.
I haven't seen anybody
even.
Okay, her name is Lauren Sanchez Bezos now.
She's like,
I don't
she's
exactly
like
know.
She's like 5 years. I was looking at their age because I was just thinking like, okay, he got divorced.
You thought she was going to be
21. Like I thought, well, and he's just like this rich man. So honestly, I thought it was going to be this 25-year-old or whatever. But she's 55.
That's fantastic.
I think he had an affair with her though.
Okay.
I was doing some research. Yeah, not as good.
Okay, less fantastic. Everybody's saying that the wedding was so chuggy and like ugly and.
Well, did you see the wedding invites?
No.
Okay, Google it right now. Jeff Bezos.
I heard
wedding
about them
invite.
though.
People were like, "Why does it look like
way.
it got?" Yes,
that's actually not. That cannot be real.
No, I think it is.
Oh, with all the butterflies?
Yeah.
People were like, "Why does it look like something I made in like Microsoft Word in 2005?"
Oh no!
I feel really mean laughing
we
at
surely
it,
could do better than that.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say a different take on that as much as 100%, but I'm like, they are an older couple.
They're
that
not
have,
like young.
So
they're not going to have
what's up.
But I do feel
They're
like
rich enough to hire somebody.
But they're certainly not designing it themselves.
No, that's actually
his personal assistant fumbled and she's getting fired.
For the money they have.
It's true. They could hire somebody to be in touch with that. Yeah, okay, maybe that's true.
Yeah, and then I saw a lot of people like hating the fact that he spent $50 50 mil?
Okay, so I heard that, but then I also heard somewhere that that's actually probably not true.
Oh.
I don't know how you spend
I mean,
that.
you
like,
wonder, like,
did they pay for everybody's travel?
That's what I'm
like,
thinking.
Oh, well, seriously, like
I
Khloe
saw somewhere
Kardashian
that they
can
had
pay for her
Yeah,
own flight.
Kim needs help getting to Venice.
Why are they? He's treating whatever. Maybe that's just
Well,
what
no,
rich
I
people
saw
do.
somewhere that
he needs
paid
to
for
make he needs to
19
spend money
private
somewhere
jets.
for a tax break. So maybe this is, I don't know, some sort of wedding loophole.
Okay, and then I just
Probably.
saw people hating on the fact that like I think his ex-wife has donated like some insane amount of money and like used her money for some good. And people are like, "Are you kidding me? Like you're gonna have a $50 million wedding and like
Do you
that
really think he had
could
a
have been-"
lick to do with the planning?
Right. I'm like,
She did, and yeah, I mean, everybody's gonna hate on people for being rich all the time. I feel like that's new, like
true.
just a thing in our culture right now is literally eat the rich, which is like okay, fair enough. But I'm like, I'm not gonna fault like if we're critiquing a wedding, I'm like, I'm not gonna fault them for spending the money that they like have.
No, right? Like,
it'd be
what, you're
weird
gonna
if they
expect them to
had
have a backyard wedding at like a
yeah,
Dave's
like in a-
barbecue? Like,
yeah,
come
like
on.
cater. I'm
this
like,
is
what?
insane though. It says the exact number of private jets present for Jeff Bezos' wedding isn't definitively stated, but reports indicate that around 90 to 100 private jets flew to Venice.
Oh my God. Well, so
that's
that was
crazy.
The thing that Toast, that was the thing that the
That
Toast
was
said.
really funny.
So funny that
Yeah,
Leo
Claudia
DiCaprio,
popped off.
none of them can say a lick about environment anymore. Ever again.
No,
Ever again.
100%.
Especially-
Well, and I'm like,
You
why
couldn't share a
That's
private
what I'm
jet
saying.
from
Why
LA.
couldn't we carpool? Like, I saw that on TikTok the other day, and I was meaning to fact check it, so I'm glad we just did because I was like, that's actually insane. And yeah, why they're all friends. All these celebrities are friends, and they all probably are flying out of LA
They
or
could
New
have
York.
probably made
like,
a commercial flight with all of them.
Yeah.
It's so freaking funny. I heard
Jeff
that
could
too.
have paid for like an Amazon like courier to make it like
Well,
comfortable for all of them, and then they all just fly over.
But
Did
no,
you
they would
hear that
never
Leonardo
do that.
DiCaprio was like hiding too or something? It was like he didn't want to be spotted. This is
Yeah,
not
he was
fact-checked,
wearing, like, a
but he
black
was wearing
cap.
like a back yes, and I think it was like a New York Yankees cap, wasn't it?
yeah, it was. It was
And
so
he
weird.
like had it really low, and people are like he like attended and wasn't wanting to be spotted. And then I heard that people were like praising, was it Courtney? Which Kardashian
Khloe.
did not go? Khloe.
Oh no, Khloe
Kourtney
was
didn't
there.
go.
Courtney didn't go. And people were like praising her, being like, "Good on you for not like
Don't
spending
praise
the
her.
money."
She's
da,
also
da, da, da,
rich.
da, da, da.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? These people like also they're friends. Like they're all rich, but they're all friends. Like you're just not gonna like go to your friend's wedding because
Right.
it's.
They're not all friends. They're just there for the PR. Like they're not friends.
No, it's so true.
But the Kardashians are.
From
I mean,
the external. Like Josie, you think you believe they're Kool-Aid.
No, I know exactly what you mean. But I thought that Chris was like friends with Lauren like from like I thought she had a history with her before she dated Bezos. So
Lauren-
that could be completely wrong on
Lauren
that. But
who?
Sanchez,
the bride.
Do we have anything else to say about the wedding?
I mean, like, I don't know why anybody really cares about them.
It's just always like that's I think where I come back is I'm like if they
Like,
had a
who
beautiful
cares about
day and
Jeff
they're in
Bezos?
love, congratulations to the Bezos.
How long has
Was
it
it-
been since he's been
Oh,
divorced?
I did want to say one thing I thought it was funny, and it was like they asked people not to give them gifts, and I was like, LOL.
It's all just they get it from Amazon. Amazon registry.
I thought that was hilarious because I'm like, of
Was
course,
the
yeah, they
wedding
don't
at
need
least
anything.
pretty? Like, I know people are saying it's tacky, but is it like
I didn't think it was that tacky. I mean, it's not my style, but like, there's plenty of weddings that aren't my
that you-
style. That's
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if they had a great time,
He's got a
congrats.
I thought their flowers down the aisle look fine and stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm not too pressed. I
He's
think
got,
that just
he's got a
I
type.
mean, her dress is not my vibe, but I don't.
people were slamming her dress, and I'm like, I don't get it. It's really not like, again, it's not my style, but like,
But if she feels great in it, then
like,
yeah, I
great.
guess
She's
'cause it has,
55.
like,
let her live.
the buttons
No, that's
down
what
the
I'm
front. Like she was
saying.
trying to do
Everybody-
something with that, and
Yeah,
it's
the
a little
buttons
bit
on the-
weird.
yeah,
Like that
good.
usually goes down the back, but
I think that's what's hard
Hey,
for. Like,
I don't got a wedding dress. What am I to say?
I know. I'm like, congratulations to her who
Yeah.
just inherited whatever. I'm sure there's like prenup on
the
prenup.
is
but
massive.
Oh,
It's probably like the
God.
biggest
is she
contract
rich
ever.
too?
but
Like who was she before this?
I actually have no idea.
don't know either.
Not this rich. So
Yeah, it's true.
congratulations.
Congrats to her on that. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
Anyways, all right. Should we do our praises
Yes.
for the week?
My praise, this last weekend I had with my mom, we just always have really fun like girl time, and we just got to like hang out, chat, laugh, and put together my little balcony. And that was kind of like the last piece of my apartment that needed to be done. And so yeah, just like praise that I have a great relationship with her and that we had just a wonderful time.
I love that.
Fun. Yeah. I think I've just been grateful for, I don't know, like so goofy, but even just like home, like our little home is becoming more homey with our garden and our like stuff like that. And my real praise is that our dogs are seemingly feeling better. So I'm out of the thick of that. It's probably like a real praise. But yeah, I think just people. I feel like I'm always saying that my praise is for people, though. I'm always like, my family.
Give a specific shout out. Shout them out. Shout them out.
Well, I'm just thinking about this weekend coming up, even like 4th of July, we're going up to the cabin, and I'm just like, I just can't wait to spend time with like the Cove. We call it the Cove. We have like all the neighbors that get together, and I'm just like very excited for that this weekend. So I know that's ahead of time. It's ahead of time. No, well, you're coming is what's happening. So
leave now.
Drive home now.
Literally.
But anyway, so
awesome.
I think just,
I think maybe my praise would be, I don't know if this is like weird, but like just health and like just having the goal of like running a 5K and like running, and I've just been feeling really good. So I think that was like a huge praise this week of just like seeing how far I've come from last year in attempting to run a mile, which I did and was great for me last year. But
yeah, and then you posted that you like ran a mile in like a quarter, and I was like, okay.
I know you run it, so it's like fun to just be able to
that's
like
progress and health.
Yeah, have like a goal to work towards something and just be. It was like beautiful out this week, so the couple runs, like I just was like feeling really good. So I think just praise for like my body, and
it's a good time to be doing some training.
Exactly, to do that. So
you're like this is a silly one. That's a great one.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Good.
All right. If you don't already follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, please follow us at 3ps.podcast. It would help a lot. Just numbers. We're a new podcast. So yeah, go hang out with us there. And if you're listening and you kind of check in regularly, make sure you're subscribed wherever you're listening. And if there's any things that you want us to yap about or like send in questions or whatever, like we're always open to that. So please send that in.
Yes. And, should we give them a warning that we are having our season 1 will be kind of coming to an end?
You have a month left with us, so savor it.
Catch up.
We're gonna take the month of August off and return this fall in September
for season 2.
But we're gonna end season 1. So episode 20 will be our last episode of the season before we take a little break for the month of August.
And hopefully we'll try and like post some clips that month. We'll try and like be around.
We'll be around.
And
we'll satiate y'all. Don't you worry.
Yeah. And
so that's the place. Like, go follow us then.
Yes, no, follow us. And we love when you message us. We get DMs and just, so if there is something or something in the episode resonated with you or something like that, like DM us on Instagram. We love hearing from you. So if you have ideas or anything, like you're part of the group chat, like DM us. Like,
no, like seriously, whenever anybody sends something kind to us or even unkind, we like send it into our group chat. So
we like text screenshots to each other and are like,
oh my God, that girl Lauren, she's so cute. Like,
we love you so much. It's the best. So we appreciate your support and are really grateful. So we will see you
we'll catch you next Tuesday.
Bye.